Welcome to day 285. Just a couple things I want to point out today. Let's start with Jesus predicting his death and rising from the grave. Okay, so we're going to just talk out of Matthew today. In Matthew 16 verse 21. From then on, Jesus began to tell his disciples plainly that if it was necessary for him to go to Jerusalem, that it was necessary, and that he would suffer many terrible things at the hands of the elders, the leading priests, and the teachers of religious law. He would be killed, but on the third day he would be raised from the dead. Now that in itself is a miracle, being able to predict what's going to happen. So I wrote that down on my miracle list just because he's all-knowing, he knows what's going on, he knows what's going to happen. And then we get into one last point that's really important in Mark. We'll read Mark 9. In Mark 9, verses 2 through 4, he says, 6 days later, Jesus took Peter, James, and John and led them up a high mountain to be alone. As the men watched, Jesus' appearance was transformed, and his clothes became dazzling white, far whiter than any earthly bleach could ever make them. Then Elijah and Moses appeared and began talking with Jesus. Okay, so this is kind of cool because it goes on, and I mentioned this because it's the Transfiguration. It's a famous story, but it's also Moses and Elijah that are there, and it's another reason why the scholars think that they are the two witnesses in the end times. But again, nobody's going to know until that time. But we can go ahead and play along and say, hey, we think it's going to be Moses and Elijah, and here are all the reasons why. And they were together at the mount on the mountain for Transfiguration, and Jesus talked to them. So obviously, something there. And another point about this is that the disciples knew who they were, which is strange. They'd never seen them before. They weren't pictures or anything. So I think that's pretty cool. But that's all there is for today. So it's a short day. That's your day 285. I'll see you tomorrow.